What is up, my brothers and sisters of the Forge? Melodic death metal is near and dear to my heart. I grew up on so many fantastic records from the 90s and early 2000s that I still revisit today. Love the nostalgia.
Why don't you jam out on a few chords?
I personally miss those times of going into the record store and grabbing an album based off of the album art. What are some of your favorite melodic death metal records? Let me know in the comments. Before we get started, if you like metal reviews and top lists, consider subscribing to our channel, hitting that notification bell so that you never miss a video. Let's get to our picks. First on my list is Carcass, Heartwork. This was released on October 18th, 1993. Most people associate the origins of melodic death metal in the Gothenburg scene, which is a massive component of it. But Carcass was beginning to introduce those tasty melodic death metal riffs before the explosion of the scene happened. One thing I love about this record is they adhered to the standard verse-chorus-verse structures in their songs, and purposely kept them at a meaty 4 to 5 minutes. These songwriting tropes are all over pop and rock music, and Carcass used them so well in Heartwork that Bill Steer and Michael Amott's guitar work really shine all over this record. The whole goddamn album is a banger. Personally, nothing in their discography tops Heartwork for me. Complete masterpiece. Next on my list is At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul, released October 3rd, 1995. The first 3 albums that made the official characteristic Gothenburg sound, easily one of the most important melodic death metal records to date, where At the Gates adopted their signature buzzsaw guitar playing. This sound became a gold standard of melodic death metal at the time in the Swedish scene. Melody was at the forefront of the album, the songs became simpler, and all of the stars aligned to catch lightning in a bottle with this record. I have so many great memories with this album. I remember walking into Newberry Comics when I was like 15 and saw the album title and knew that I needed to have it. For those interested, I did do a 25-year anniversary review of this album where I go into some of the history of how it was made. Some great discussion in there. Definitely check it out. Links in the description. Next on my list is Dark Tranquility, The Gallery, released November 27th, 1995. Man, the early to mid 90s was a great time for metal. The Gallery was a total melodic death metal masterpiece and is the second of the 3 iconic Gothenburg albums that arguably defined all of the genre. One thing that kind of bums me out is how Dark Tranquility never really hit the success level that At the Gates or In Flames did, especially given with how they consistently release good records at a minimum. The Gallery is one of the most melodic records listed here, and that's one of the biggest reasons that I love it. There's something about the production of the record too that adds to the aesthetic and atmosphere. It's an iconic and adored album in my list. Next up here is In Flames, The Jester Race, released February 20th, 1996. Easily the most successful out of all of the melodic death metal bands that are in this list. I am not going to go on an In Flames bash-a-thon here. You can find all that stuff on the internet and other comment threads to blow up on that stuff. The Jester Race, though, was the last of the trilogy of iconic death metal records that takes songwriting tropes from the new wave of British heavy metal and still sounds very original. This album to this day is dripping with atmosphere, and the tight compositions and professional sounding production take this record to a whole new level. Absolutely love this album. Welcome to Last on my list is Edge of Sanity, Crimson, released April 2nd, 1996. We are huge fanboys of Dan Swano on this channel, and as the driving force behind Edge of Sanity, it is no surprise that Crimson made the list. Consisting of one single enormous song that tells the tale of a royal child who leads humanity to the future where humans cannot reproduce, this album is a complete masterpiece. This is melodic death metal at its core, but it's definitely not afraid to experiment with more progressive elements in the songwriting. That's what makes this record so great. The album on Spotify is actually broken into 8 segments, so that makes the album a little bit more digestible. There's also an appearance by Michael Ackerfeld. That's pretty awesome. Bonus points to those who can name the segment in the comments. So what are some of your favorite melodic death metal records? Let me know down below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, or maybe check out one of our other cool videos. Go with the gods, my brothers and sisters. Forge on.